Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Obiajulu Olabisi Ubu, and as usual, I have the amazing ladies in the building. YK Power!
Welcome back from Nigeria.
I missed you.
Yes.
I was telling Abigail this morning that you are VIP. I hardly see you on the show. We are hardly ever together. I don't know the offense I committed to the producers. They don't like to put me and you together. But I caught you today. How you doing, madam?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I was, my partner was ill. He got malaria. And so I was looking after him. Then the same mosquitoes that beat him, cuckoo face. But I think it was because the malaria was so high in him, they made me take some anti-malaria drugs, and he told me to take paracetamol, which I didn't because I hate taking drugs. So because I didn't take it, so one day I was just knocked out, because I don't really get malaria like that. I don't even get malaria, so I think it was not taking because I now took it with the paracetamol.
And he felt
was okay.
So how is he now? How is Uncle Theo?
He's much better. He's much better.
Did you cook some special things for him?
No, that's not what.
Did you do some special things to him?
No,
that's no. You cannot.
Don't mind.
I'm telling you from experience.
It was hot like this.
I hear pepper soup goes with malaria.
Yeah, it does.
Once
some
you have
good
malaria,
pepper soup.
just take pepper soup.
I know. I did. He couldn't even eat. We did pepper soup.
No appetite.
But I did what he likes, like salad and all those.
That was what I was asking.
I was asking
the other one too. That one is the fastest cure.
You don't know that. Usually when people as they get older, when they fall sick, they're like children.
Yeah.
So it's like more compounded.
How you doing, TMO Speaks?
I'm doing amazing. I have plenty gist, and I know we don't have much time because we welcomed YK. So let me go into it chap.
Plenty gist.
So first thing first is it's Infertility Awareness Week. And so all through this week, conversations should be had concerning, we're having conversations around infertility to generate awareness, a lot of compassion for those are going through infertility. If you know someone around you who's been married for a while, hasn't had a child, just say a word of prayer for them. Those comments you usually ask them, how are things going? You can just keep it to yourself and just pray, because a lot of them are feeling it very pressured. But and then I'm raising funds for funding 40 families. Please go on my social media page. I have details on how you can support us to do the funding for IVF. The second thing I wanted to say, I would shift it for later, but it's paining me that I cannot tell you people about my realtor training that I have put together. It's the best realtor training in Nigeria. I've searched around. Reach. Go and check online, see the details.
But we have to go. Abigail Uchuku.
Yeah,
Abigail, go. How you doing? Go. It's the go. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm still hoping that immigration service will
release your passport.
So I think
your own is exceptional.
Now. I don't know, and it's at the production stage. I'm still waiting. I had to send a mail. When they responded to the application mail, I had to check the mail. I sent a mail, no response. And it's.
Are you sure you shouldn't go there and
pay money, Abi?
No, not pay money. Just go there and see somebody.
When I went there, when I went for capturing, at the time they hadn't scheduled me for appointment. When I went, the lady said I should go back. Then when they are ready, they will send me a mail. So going there is like just going there to complain, because nobody will listen to you, or except you want to grease palms and allow them to.
And you have decided to be very upright.
I'm not going to pay any money. Not after this time. I'm not going to bribe anybody. And I'm saying it on national TV. I'm not going to bribe any officer to release that passport. We'll wait, even if it's 10 years.
You know we'll reach, don't worry. We got you.
I was able to fix my card.
Oh, that's so good. We are happy. Big money, but we thank God.
Fantastic.
He will recover.
I'm good. Sunday was my husband's birthday.
I will shut it down.
Surprise him. So I shipped him off to a hotel with the 2 kids at home. The other one is writing exam in school, and I'm about going to bed that night. My son looked at me and said, I know you are not going to sleep this night. I said, what do you mean? He said, Mommy, I know now today is Daddy's birthday. You people will not have any form of sleep this night.
What is your son?
He's 14. He has set the Netflix for me in the hotel room with my sign-in, login details, and he was like, all this one I'm setting, I know you will not watch it. You're going to be very busy. And he walked away.
No, you know that's not BC has given birth to him.
So
that's herself.
When we were about checking out, I said, come and sign. I said, hey, Mom, did you even watch the? I said, actually, I didn't watch.
Because you know, just knows the agenda.
But we had fun. It was just, I was tired of everything in the house, the food, the everything. So I just needed that short break, and we really had fun, and he enjoyed it. He enjoyed it. So I'm doing my best, though. I'm trying, I'll still collect my money back.
I don't know. Did you really miss me?
Yeah, I usually do miss you.
Why did you wear this hair?
You know those children that you have, that one is very stubborn. That's one. Let's take a short break now. When we come back, we do the newspaper reviews. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We'll be starting the newspaper reviews from The Nation. Now, wow. We don't have front page again now. For there's
over 1 week now.
President Tinubu commissions International Conference Center, Abuja today. That is what has covered The Nation. I'm sure you people took stories from inside.
I'm sure he has better things to do with Nigeria's money.
As in the kind of adverts we've been seeing. No. Anyway, which stories do we have in The Nation?
The federal government seeks new financing model to meet fish production.
Interesting.
So the federal government has said it's exploring new financing model and collaboration with development partners, including food and agriculture organization and financial institutions, to enhance the capacity of fish farming in fish farmers in Nigeria. And we are supposed to meet a particular target, yearly target of 3 million metric tons. That's the demand. So in order to meet this, the federal government is saying they have to have collaborative efforts to make sure that fish farming is a business that is here to stay. Unofficial source has it that an estimated 300,000 metric tons of farmed fish are produced in Nigeria annually, and me, I'm a river swimmer, and that is our business. So they're saying, I think what they're doing is fish cultivation, like all those catfish farming and all that. But I think they should also explore other means of getting fish, especially from the big seas, security and all that. That's something they should look forward to. So government is collaborating with other bodies to make sure that they meet the demand for the year.
So this one, we're struggling to meet internal demand. This story is about a little bit about exporting. So they said why shipping lines dump empty containers within Nigeria, because it is more expensive to return the containers to their countries of where they came from. So because we import a lot of products into Nigeria, the products come into Nigeria, we empty the containers and we do not have enough things to export. So Sea Empowerment Research Center has said that what is left in Nigeria is averagely like 65,000 to 100,000 20-foot containers littering the terminals across the country, because it's not worth it for them to take it back. Carrying empty container back will cost between $2,000 to $4,000. That is excluding the other costs that come for lifting and all of that, and yet we're carrying it out empty. In other countries, they don't have to deal with things like this because they have things to export. So when they import things, they put things inside and take back. But because it doesn't cost, it's expensive to just, why would I carry empty container back to the country? So they just dump it in Nigeria, and it can, they said it will constitute not even just major health hazard, environmental hazard, and it will also clog the port infrastructure. So we now have it everywhere. Some people are innovatively using it to build houses and all of that, but still that's not meant to solve our problem. Long-term problem is for us to have enough to export so that there will be no deficit in
containers going back.
Do you know how much they sell those containers?
It's a lot of money.
If you want to buy a container, they are very expensive.
For stores. But so transportation, no. Because I tried buying 20 and it was about 2 to 3 million 2 years ago. It was mainly the transport, the moving it from
place to
point A to B.
No, the containers are quite expensive.
They're quite because I use one as a dustbin outside Shrine. I know how much it cost me then to buy it. Not talk of what it is now. And you know, Theo uses them to build houses. And
even stores.
I took the Abacha's wife.
I knew you would take it.
She's talking about her husband, who they celebrated his 27 years of death yesterday. So she came on TVC Continental and she talked about her husband, saying he didn't loot anything, that the money that they say he looted, that they left it was here when he died. Where did they put it? They cleared the money. Where is it? That every day they will be saying Abacha loot. That is not true. That he had kept money for Nigeria, and they will just be saying Abacha loot. She said he didn't annul the June 12th. It wasn't the one in power now. So why are they saying he's the one that
what are rewriting history?
Annulled the June 12th election? Are they saying that he was more powerful than the president that was president? Are they saying, so she named a lot of people that, are they saying he was more powerful than that? Then her husband must be the greatest if her husband was more powerful than all these people. So
and they're still talking about him.
And that you are still talking about him 27 after. And you see, I just find that, because I was watching one show on this morning, I can't remember the name of that general who spoke for Abacha, and he said it is only because he died that they are all talking about him.
It's easier like to just say Abacha's it. It's easier to
He's not there to defend himself.
He's not there to defend himself. If he was alive, that they don't burn the person that will come and be talking. And it is the truth. They are using him as a scapegoat. She even said that she said it's scapegoatism. She said because he's not here. Because all the other ones who they call their name.
Honestly, because they are alive now.
They are alive now, so nobody they call their name.
After we know.
So I took
let one die like this. Everybody will just he did this. Why you alive? They will be celebrating. They will go for your book launch.
Why you have to move on?
Front pages.
Why can just do a sub?
I'm telling you, no fewer than 10,000 midwives and nurses from the southeast yesterday received professional kits from the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, under the Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI. The equipments were distributed to beneficiaries who cut across the 5 states of Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo as part of efforts to reduce infant and maternal mortality and morbidity in the country. So they said also 1,500 Enugu petty traders got 100 million from the wife of Enugu State Governor, Mrs. Nkechinyere Mba, to also boost their trade. So Senator Tinubu had distributed the kits, including scrubs and crocs, to the women at the International Conference Center, ICC, Enugu, and he explained that 60,000 of such tools had been distributed in the other 5 geopolitical zones. He said the goal is to provide midwives with the right equipment and encourage them in their work and improve healthcare delivery. We need to see a lot more of this, across the geopolitical zones. That's a good one. Let's move on now to the Punch. Let me check the time we have, okay? The headlines: defection, Hurricane Tinubu sweeps 12 more senators and reps. Obi sparks firestorm over Tinubu's subsidy figures. Tears, joy as Nigerian pilgrims depart Saudi after Hajj. We'll take a story and do a short break. Who's ready to go in the Punch?
Okay, so I have the story about town planners advocating for policies to curb plastic pollution. So the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners has called on the federal government to implement a policy intervention, and the goal of the policy intervention is to curb plastic pollutions in the country. They made this call at the global community celebrating the World Environment Day. The statement was signed by the National Public Relations Secretary, and they said that whose name is Dr. Chime. He lamented that despite all the conversations regarding this, it hasn't been dealt with. He said serious negative impact of plastic pollution is ongoing, and that is affecting the water resources, issues that cannot, it requires urgent attention, and we're not doing enough to work on it. So he listed all the SDG goals that is impacting on, and then he spoke about the fact that Africa's cities have far exceeded the capacity of plastics that they should have in any form, and yet we're bringing in more and dumping them inappropriately. So we have to deal with this challenge, and I can't support it more.
Okay, let's take a short break here. When we come back, we'll continue the newspaper reviews. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam.
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show. Give for that long.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back?
You should start the gym to get fat.
Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
Yeah, pole dancer does not
you're already almost naked.
You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You see some spoils.
That woman.
Damn!
Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay tuned. Pure Entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental.
Welcome back. We're still reviewing the papers. The Punch, who is ready?
Oh, okay. I can take the French tourist that died in a Benue hotel. Apparently, he checked into the hotel on Friday, and then he fell ill. It was on the 6th of June. He fell ill, and then they said he refused to go to the hospital. His illness continued, and they asked him to. They called in a medical practitioner for examination, but he was already dead. So the police have incidented it as sudden and unnatural.
So something must have triggered it, Abi.
They have to find out. Let's not be dealing with another Ebola case.
The manager of the hotel is not in town. Said she was on her way from Boko or somewhere like that, and that the owner of the hotel was dealing with the issue, but she refused to give the full number of the hotel. Or he was a tourist. His name was Peter Giles.
We may have to do an autopsy to find out what was the cause of death.
And this hotel was in the Boko area of the state.
Similar to the story Timo took, Lagos to prosecute 10 suspects for street trading. I love the fact that Lagos is taking this good face of Lagos seriously.
Street trading.
Street trading, you prosecute
that's the thing. So at least 10 individuals have been arrested by officials of the Lagos State Waste Management Authority and the Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps around Alabarago or Jaw area and around Lagos Badagry Expressway. According to the story, the Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, he confirmed the arrest on his X account on Monday, and he emphasized government's unwavering stance on enforcement of environmental laws. And we know that the other time they caught someone at Alakmere Bridge disposing waste, and they are charging them to court. And then just as we said, how many will you
if they are doing community service, I don't think it should be such a bad thing. We can flog yellow and they should sweep the entire
community service. That's enough.
They sweep for 1 week.
Post it. The correctional centers are already
service,
over.
and also I don't think Arrow is full. The Yaba left is full. Some of them need to go there.
And do
for someone to do that
evaluation. Yes, for mental evaluation.
Remember the guy that was arrested for crossing in Dubai?
Where they go check because he are not normal. Please, I need to take this story. I beg. The Oshun community in Ido Oshun. They live in Unity Estate, Ido Oshun of Oshun State. They staged the protest on Monday, and the reason for their protest is there are many people that are feeling this. The road to their estate, a 2-kilometer road, was awarded by the former governor of Osun State, Boyega Oyetola. That contract is not being sustained or is not being fulfilled by the contractor, Moshuola Nigeria Limited, maybe because it's not being funded by the new administration. Point is, people that live within Unity Estate in Ido Osun cannot access their house by road, by car, because the road, they did 1 kilometer, just 2-kilometer road now with the battle. So over years, they said just 1 kilometer of road was done partially. The second kilometer of road, which passes where the estate is, They did drainage, they did not finish drainage. Erosion has eaten part of the road, they cannot drive into their house. They say some people cannot even access, they have to now park somewhere and then find a way to get into their houses. So please, the current governor of Osun State should look into what is happening in Ido-Osun. Yes, Adeleke.
The governor is...
It's okay.
You know what he's doing?
Right, I know.
Yeah, we need to move. Daily Sun now.
It's in the process.
Yes, it's okay. It's all right.
Strange projects in 2025. Budget calls for 100 million for hair training in a Greek ministry. Hair training. I don't understand.
In a Greek
ministry. It's confusing. Senators seek 300 million in grants. PDP leaders clash over sanctions for airing members' defections. Prudent budgeting, effective management drive early competition of ICC. Wike said this. Webolo lights up 6 communities with 2.5 MVA injection substation. What stories do we have in Daily Sun?
Wilberforce Chuba Okadigbo Airport, Ebonyi State, has commenced commercial flights operations.
Fantastic.
Well, thank God. It's no longer just a Nugu. So the Commissioner for Aviation and Transport Technology, Mrs. Ngozi Obichukwu, revealed that one of the airlines will be commencing scheduled commercial flights from June 13. And she's saying these routes, they're offering routes from Onueke to Abuja and Lagos, and right now the government has subsidized it. Governor Francis Ogbonnaya Nwifuru has subsidized it and has said flat rate of 100,000 from Ebonyi to Lagos and Abuja for now. Wow. So it's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good one.
Congratulations.
That guy, I can never forget him when he was Senate President.
Yes, so
he can never be.
When they wanted to impeach him, he disappeared and then he came with the traditional horse.
Yes, it was a traditional. It was sweeping. Yes, it was. Even me, as young as I was there, I knew the drama.
Yes, so the Delta State Governor Sheriff Obovori has threatened to sack council chairman over the security challenges in the state. He issued a stern warning while speaking in Asaba on Monday, and he said that the warning is coming as the state police deployed tactical teams in Abraka community and environs. We know what has been happening in Abraka for a while now. That's the Ethiop East local government area of the state, to curb rising cases of insecurity in the town. They said there have been cases of kidnapping and other crimes in some parts of the state recently. So June 4th, the police confirmed the death of 4 suspected kidnappers in a gun duel with joint security operatives comprising a police patrol team, vigilantes, local hunters, and members of the anti-cult volunteers. They said 1 AK-47 rifle along with 13 rounds of live ammunition were recovered from the neutralized killer kidnappers during the joint operation. So a few days ago, we saw women coming out on the streets to protest the kidnapping that has been happening in Abraka town. So I like the fact that
the story.
Yes, the government is standing on this. So do we have any other story in this one? Do we need to move? Okay, Vanguard now. Presidency Obi clash over fuel subsidy forex policies. Salam Alliance merged to enhance operations in Nigeria. Ndume to Tinubu, 22 PDP governors endorsed. Jonathan yet he lost woefully. Okay, what do we have in the Vanguard?
Yeah, so I have this story about the waterfront now, because some of it is my industry, real estate people. They will not, because land has finished, they are now reclaiming water. Okay. Some of the reclamation isn't well done. Like the process of reclaiming the water isn't well done. So the Commissioner for Waterfront Infrastructure Development, Mr. Dayo Alebioshu, said that a new directive has been approved by the Lagos State Governor declaring war on illegal land reclamation within Lagos State. He said that Lagos lives by the lagoon, and that the lagoon feeds us with fresh food, and even it waters our bowl. That illegal dredging, dumping, reckless reclamation is disturbing nature, and nature would fight back. Yeah. Besides, there are many structures along those waterways that, because you are reclaiming land, the land is loose. They don't build it well. In 1 year or two, the houses are tilted. Yeah. They are tilting visibly, and there are many illegal ones. They are because they come across as cheaper. People tend to buy them, but you should be worried if you know that you are buying land that is actually on maybe setbacks or waterways, and they say you are
sink or fall.
Shouldn't be worried about.
So I'm waiting for no. This was properly
reclaimed. That was just
they just do. And illegal dredging also compromises the quality of the earth that we have in Lagos. So as much as possible, please comply. Let there be enforcement of this particular rule.
Do we have any other story?
Okay. So, I took the Abuja Federal Medical Center. Have said that the accident victim, the video that went viral, he has been treated and discharged. They are also saying the nurses and the doctors, the people that were in the video, are going to be investigated. But they addressed journalists yesterday at the hospital premises in Abuja, and this was Dr. Bioku Muftau, and he reiterated zero tolerance policy of the Federal Medical Center Abuja, insisting that it maintains standards in terms of patients' care over the years. So anyway, the victims have been treated and discharged.
I'll just do this briefly. In Delta State, this kidnapping, bedeviling the people of Delta. This is coming from Ugeli North Local Government Area. They said 26 children vanished in Delta State. Yes, in some of the communities. And Agbaro mothers demonstrate accusing Yahoo boys.
They vanished.
So one particular woman was saying she left her child to play with other children, went to the market, and by the time she came back, she couldn't see her son again. Couldn't find her son. And so some people, like the artisans on the road, they say some guys just come, entice them, bring them to the car, and then escape with them. So this is really serious. Insecurity in Delta State it has gotten to,
and that's why the Delta State government came out. It's going to sack all the local government chairman, because it's under your local government
that they should be closer.
You're closer. So find those boys that don't have work. Let them monitor and see what's happening.
He's busy do better from pillar to post.
Okay, we have to go. Thank you so much, ladies, for your contributions to the newspaper review. When we come back, we move on to the topics of today. Stay with us. YK is in the house, so anyhow you people see us today, take us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it. Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer,
you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
This is. That's why you're still single.
I will not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person you see some spoils?
That woman.
Damn!
Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up now.
And so we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay tuned. TVC Entertainment for pure entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Thanks for staying with us. So we have a prominent figure in Nigeria's opposition camp who has sparked, controversy with his recent visit to President Tinubu's house as a key spokesperson for Atiku's presidential campaign and a vociferous critic of the president in time past. His actions have raised eyebrow, and you're going to be asking what prompted this meeting and what does it mean for our future in politics. Welcome with us, Segun Sowunmi. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
I'm here. How are you? Good morning.
We're doing amazing, sir. Yes, so you had a visit. You visited our president, and people have been talking about it. They're asking,
what are you looking for?
What are you looking for? What is your agenda? What message do you hope to convey to the public through your visits? Please help us explain.
Okay, thank you. First things first, I have known President Ashadu Bola Ahmed Tinubu since 1994-95. That's a damn long time ago.
Wow.
And from time to time, we sit and do a very, very soul-wrenching conversation, minimally lasting 1 hour, 20 minutes, which was the last one. Sometimes we do 2 and more.
Wow.
And our relationship is such that even when I don't talk to him for 10 years, I can reasonably decipher, if you understand what you call picture perfect descriptive narrative. That's a special skill. Why he did this, what could happen, and there will be some I'm not so sure. I've never been one to mill around leaders or to gravel at their table. I'm a tad too arrogant for that. This last one was a visit initiated, not exactly by me, during the third day of Salah, and I was in the Southwest. I thought about the visit, and I convinced myself on 3 basic reasons why it must happen, or why I must answer. The first is that I do not believe that when the president of your country especially invites you, not in a hostile manner, I do not believe that we have destroyed this country to the level that we no longer can share that kind of relationship. I don't believe. I believe we can. And it needed to be demonstrated. The second reason was that I had become uncomfortable, a little bit worried about the way the democracy, especially around the parties, are going. And I felt that he was needlessly, or not needlessly, excessively blamed for some of the errors of the other parties, which in my opinion are self-inflicted. I needed to be absolutely sure that his mind on democracy is still as it should. And I wanted to ask him some tough questions, albeit in a not so hostile manner or adversarial manner, about certain things, to reveal to me if the mind is still as I have always known it to be.
Okay.
So I wanted to ordinarily go to Judioba and go and play with my friend. I've apologized that I couldn't make it. All the assembly was ready, but that's why I went. Now, I met, well, the ambience of the place is quite good, very beautiful, very clean, very friendly.
All right.
And as Providence will have it, the traditional ruler of my environment, that is the Alake and paramount ruler of Egbaland, Okukenu the fourth, Alake of Egbaland, was just in the waiting room when I got in, with two of his chiefs. Even if I wanted to find strengths in the potential anger of people, at least that's my traditional ruler, and definitely is my father, because he's a retired military officer. I'm the son of a soldier. After they had done about 20 minutes there, I went into the president. We had 1 hour, 20 minutes of the type of conversation we usually have.
So we'll get to that, because we have a few more questions.
No, with due respect.
That. Yeah. I said we'll get to that. We're going to ask you a few more questions.
Yes.
So that you tell us exactly what you discussed. So who's ready to go?
Okay, so I like the fact that you knew there was going to be a bit of backlash on the visits that took place, because you said that because from your introduction you spoke about the fact that you did not expect that our democracy had gotten that bad that the president will call you and you will not show up. So I'm happy you honored the president and the presidency and honored Nigeria, but how did you feel about the backlash, the comments on social media, how people felt like, okay, you've joined the group of people who have moved to the other side, or the ruling party side? Did you feel like, did you take it personal, like these people don't know me, or what was your reaction to that, the comments that trailed your visits to the president?
For some times now, I've always been in opposition, and I'm in opposition. I had been asking myself, is there a reason why every president on the saddle in our country is hated and then loved immediately he gets down? And as I researched it deeply, I began to feel that inadvertently we have created an adversarial media and communication infrastructure for the country. And I felt that it was even more energized by those who contest elections and fall short, and who imagine that the only thing they will do with life is constantly instigate people to anger when policies are just about being laid. And I thought, okay, I'm going to have to deal with that, but it's okay. The earlier I dive into the sea and then get the brickbat and the reaction, it helps my thought process on designing what I think we must do to ensure that deep state infrastructure can better manage communication and what you call the general feel of our country. The Chinese will tell you that their system of democracy is superior to the Americans. Among the many things they say, one of the things they say that catches my mind is that they say that if nations are to make progress, they must figure out a way, however democratic or civil, to ensure that they can build consensus around decision so that nations can at least be pushing the future of their country in the same direction. And if you look at how well they've done in some years, you will know that without a doubt they have demonstrated that no human race has scaled up that much. I've always been like that. I'm not upset. I just think that we now have to ensure that the mob of the people don't have all of the information or they don't have all of the skills to know what exactly it means when policy is being planned and what are the likely implications and the likely direction of such policy. So other than that, I also know that, yes, as someone that opposition has always had as their asset forever, and I've always been taking the battle of opposition to the ruling party forever, I felt that, yes, they would be a bit upset, and I don't want them to be. I'm not the type of turncoat guy. I don't do that kind of thing. I'm not the type of person who can also be bullied. I will never be. I'm too strong. I'm a typical Egba man, very strong-willed. And I felt that the man is now at his year 2. I could have been all of that much earlier. And I wasn't shopping for any appointment or anything. And we didn't talk about such. Neither was he even telling me, come and join my party. That was not the kind of conversation. It was sort of a conversation between the present leader and a potential future leader who was asking probing questions, not to irritate him, but to figure out whether what he thinks he's doing, he is aware of what the expected outcome according to plan is. And I wanted to also bring him to a point where he could see that it's not enough for your aides to get up and just be saying kumbaya. There must be a way where we can be having this conversation as people who share the common heritage, first of Nigeria, then as Yorubas, in democracy to stabilize our country. I've become extremely tired of an idea that no leader will work or no leader will be appreciated while working. I regretted it after I had visited the president, the now president of Brazil, after I came back and I had asked him, why is your nation working and ours was not? He sent me in the direction of a few people in his cabinet, his Minister of Work, of Agric, his Minister of Homeland Works, and these people of this, the oil industry. And he told his chief of staff to tell them that they should answer every query and try to explain. When I sat with his Minister of Agriculture, and he began to couple, you know, I don't speak Portuguese I don't speak Portuguese, so there's a dolmacher, somebody that is explaining and interpreting. All I could hear him say was, farmer money, school feeding program and all that. And the more he was saying that was the thing that took them out of poverty and made them stable, the more I kept saying, oh God. So this was what Buhari was trying to do. Oh God, oh God, oh God. And if you recall, immediately after I came back from that trip, I went all the way to Daura with all the risk of the road to visit him and ask him, sir, why didn't that thing work and all of that? But long story short, for some time now I've been on the journey that we must have beautiful eyes. Our eyes must be such that we can see good when there is good. Wow. And we must also be able to see what we don't like. We must not insist that to love somebody we agree with everything they do, or that to be against somebody means we must fear them or hate them. I don't believe in that nonsense.
Quick question.
Another question, sir.
Sorry, this is a quick aside question because of what you just said. When you went to visit former President Buhari, what was it that he told you that, why didn't it work? Why didn't his agri plan work?
Well, without going into specific of the kinds of things to say to leaders, what I can only say is that every generation has an event that takes place in their generation that become like the scale by which they measure things. And for the Buhari generation, all of those guys, I think the Civil War was one thing that impacted how they see the country and even probably life and their own life. I came to the conclusion after leaving, when I finished with him, it was electric. I came to the conclusion that, oh, Nigeria, we must learn to not be so unwilling to see the greater glory of our land. Because in any case, all of our unnecessary rhetoric of anger, putting our country down in a global world, does not serve us well. Yes, I get that the world is flat now and people can sit on their phones and see what's going on in America and all that. A whole lot of them have no ideas what the people that are living in those fancy environments are dealing with. But to the credit of those countries, they have figured out the way to make sure that their deep state communication infrastructure for their country projects their country well. And of course, the citizens to have an opportunity to have that freedom, but not hating their country. So I thought that, okay, we need to now start figuring out how to even make Nigerians patriotic. For really and truly, shall a president say that he's going to keep burning money on subsidy when we really don't have that money? Or shall the president, in all seriousness, take away leave arbitrage, which is a benefit when you think deeply, that would give him the ability to be telling who they should give and maybe even making his friends rich and all that. Yeah. To take it out does not reflect somebody who wants the country broken.
Okay,
we may not agree,
take a short break
have
here.
Issues with some policy.
Yeah,
but after that, my visit with him, I can say without any fear of contradiction, that's a very intelligent, very brilliant leader. And his mind is in the right place. And don't be deceived. If you like, let him stumble, but he's not weak. And he's not ill, not to the best of my knowledge.
Okay. We'll have to take a short break here, sir. Yeah.
He doesn't know the question I'm going to ask him. The touch point of the answers reflected that he had been reflecting on that matter himself.
Okay.
Forget it.
Let's take a breather here, sir.
I like him. Ashaju.
Let's take a breather here. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation with Segun Sowunmi. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? we have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
Yeah, that's all we can take. I close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number one on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So
pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already.
Welcome back. We're still having a conversation with our guest who is in the studio, Segun Sowunmi, on his visit to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And Waike had a follow-up question.
So, you know, I've watched a lot of your interviews, and you've had a lot of criticism for the President, for the APC, as is understandable as a PDP chieftain. Now, your tune seems to have changed. So, yes, to unadulterated admiration. So, when is your own move? When are you leaving PDP to join APC?
Although I can't see who's asking that question, but let me just go straight and say that
my name is Yanya.
If you look at even the PDP that I've been with for all of the years, at 2011, because I had the rare privilege of being the Director General of the Goodluck Sambo election in Ogun. And at that time, after that process was done, although they lost everywhere, I won, because I had command and we won that, I discovered, and I had been screaming, that the fault lines are there. This party needs to reform. Imagine how far back, and I didn't leave. After we lost the 2023 election, I had been screaming, even if you don't do anything, after 25 years, an organization can bring in change management experts to look at what they're doing and help them to design improvements. You can't insist that we do it the same way we've been doing it and expect the result. And it's still 2 years into the APC government, and I'm not really moved. When they won the election in 2015, to God be the glory, and I hope he's doing very well, Alhaji Lai Mohammed and I had an engagement on the program. And after we stepped out, he said, Segun, this party is meant for men like you. You are progressive. And I said to him, I know, but I want you to build the party organically now that you have won, so that the type of directive principles that would drive the party will be organic. Let me stay here and keep pushing from here. I don't know if and when I will leave, but let me be very upfront. I've always said, and I've said it many times over, if I ever leave the PDP, damn, I'm going to the APC. And why is that? Because at least I can accept that the two main pillars of the APC, President Muhammadu Buhari and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, are stable people. They don't jump from one political tendency to the other. And I've been damn stable too. Since 1998, I don't do this hopping about. I don't see the need for it. But if they will insist on destroying the PDP, never mind how much I push, never mind how much I've been.
Are you saying that
if they brought all the rushes of people who speak for PDP from 99,
1 second,
but
please.
none consistently has spoken for that party by like me. Think about it. What have I really even been there?
Are you saying
I've
some
never
leaders
been
in
anything,
PDP are
it doesn't
unstable?
matter. So I'm not the type of person that is shopping for opportunity. If I have to go to the APC, I will first of all visit my friend Felix Moka. I will have a sit down with him and ask for the concern of the party. I will read it and try to see, because you see, after putting in about 26, 27 years in PDP, one of the reasons why I'm irritated by this talk of a coalition that they are doing is that I can't imagine how decent political people we think that it is their responsibility to be looking for new platform every season. I don't agree. So if I must leave, I must at least go to where I think they can also be stable forever. And I believe that, yes, that party, nobody, Bola has not told anybody is running, and they have not told anybody is not running. And I believe that that party is strong enough. If they were to run an election today, they could win. And even if the candidate had to change, they have enough people there that can take on the responsibility. And if Bola Tinubu wins and becomes the president for the next 2030, when he finishes his 8th term, the pendulum has swung south. I have a feeling that enough men in the back line there, younger people who can take it on. Look at my party.
All right,
just look at them.
Okay, let's get to a few more questions.
And tell me why anybody should ask me a question of whether I will leave. If I have to leave, I'll take that decision. But I usually take the decision soberly and well considered.
I didn't ask you
that decision,
whether you will leave. I asked when. I didn't ask whether you will leave. I asked when.
Maybe you are the secretary of the party who has the responsibility to come and take me in. Don't ask me an annoying question. I didn't tell you I was leaving. I gave you enough to let you know how I take decision. I didn't come for your program so you can try to be cheeky with me. Stop that.
I can't be cheeky with you because I'm sure I am older than you. So I cannot be cheeky with you, sir.
Okay, I don't know who is speaking. I can't see you.
That's Yeni and Nicola Bokuti. All right, so let's take a few questions.
Sister, my beloved sister, okay,
Okay,
auntie, I take that back.
Sir.
I thought it was one of those young ones who don't know that the fact that they are interviewing someone does not mean that they should start kind of just be behaving.
No, but we don't do that
I don't
here.
mean that. You're my big sister, girl.
Yes, sir, please. We don't do that here. This is not the station where we embarrass our guests. No, we don't. We ask the right questions.
Thank you. I know.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you when.
All right, sir. So let's
you see, I have been your fan for a long time. I have watched you for many, many months. And so your new move shocked me. It shocked me. So I'm like, really? Him too?
But that's why he's here to explain to us.
So
let's take in another question.
Okay, sir. You said earlier that you've had this long-standing relationship with the president. My question is, why did you decide to take the stance of the opposition, and what's the impact on your relationship with the opposition camp and Atiku in particular?
God bless you. The first part of the question. The thing that produced this democracy was the June 12 issue and the Abiola and all of that. And I was of the view that we must build this new democracy to be nationalistic and pan-Nigeria. I considered that the emotions of we've lost a lot of people, wanted them to be a bit like an AG, maybe if you like the former AG and the former UPN. And I remember I said, it doesn't matter that you want this now. You will want the Nigeria later. As far as I'm concerned, maybe because again I'm the son of a soldier, we don't know tribalism like that. I opted for a party that I thought was more pan-Nigeria. And I saw the gaps there. But by 2015, when that party then came on board, metamorphosed into another pan-Nigerian movement, I was happy. Because I felt Nigeria now had gotten to the point where if they are not happy with one party, they could be happy with another. And so that was why it wasn't in that corner. But having become a PDP person, of course, it's like a debater in a debating club. Once you bring the opponent to me, I'm going to bring the best way I know how to win the argument, as subtle and as firm. depending on the type of issue and how important the issue is. And I have been particularly mindful over the years that I don't put a criticism on the table without suggesting the on the background reasoning and what will be possible alternative. I can eat every sour grape I've planted because I can justify why it was said so. And if they had been clear, and my sister will understand where we come from, we usually say, and our parents used to say, our grandparents at least, they used to say, when they advise you, they get no advantage in your listening to the advice because that's giving you cheap. But when you don't listen, you suffer the consequences of their sound advice. And maybe later on you will respect the thinking that goes into the advice. I've always been a Nigerian first man. Tomorrow till tomorrow, next tomorrow, in 20 years' time I will be. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Let me ask you this question, because every action that we take, we usually have in mind the end goal.
I don't think he responded to what's the impact on your relationship with the opposition camp and Atiku.
Okay, very good. Sorry about that. You know, the thing about that is this. I've always said to people love with their hearts. I love Atiku with my bones. But I can't help him against himself.
Away.
If he chooses a path that I know that, how can this be the path? You can't run vice presidency on PDP 2 times with Obasanjo, get presidential candidates on that same party 2 times. I don't agree with him that the next best thing is to be shopping for, like what? If you want a coalition, why are you not coalescing them into your party? Look at your rival, your friend. You guys started together. At best, even if you want to say he's building a coalition, is it not coalescing opponents into his place? The thing about Bola Ahmed Tinubu is that, you know, that guy is something, he has this uncanny ability to make everybody individually feel special. It doesn't matter whether you were a former foe or a friend, present friend, every moment you share with him. I don't know how he does it though. You're going to leave the place feeling that you matter. Feeling that he gets it, feeling that what you guys are talking about is important. And there's something about him. When he gives you his word, he will say something like "Koleye," meaning that to the best of human ability, it will stand. You can't. I don't know whether Atiku is upset or not upset, but I know a lot of our followers are talking a lot of nonsense, and I'm wondering how I became attached. Atiku I've been in PDP since 1999. Never leaving. So you can do the maths and say, what kind of person is Segun? When I wanted to go to the president's meeting, I drove to Chief Obasanjo. Where's my father? I wanted to inform him, but he was not at home and I had to go. My father tore his card and left PDP. I didn't leave. Ochuma Benga Daniel, my leader, left PDP how many times and how many years ago? I didn't leave. I'm not that flippant. I'm not.
Sir. Yeah.
But I'm not going to have anybody, with due respect,
say
that I can love their own for their own benefits, and then hate my own, so that by loving my own now, I'll be guilty. It's not going to happen. If I have to help Bola, if I have to be with him, if I have to work with him, if he tells me we're going to deploy the best of our capability, and the best of our ability is not talking, I guarantee you the best of the ability I bring to the table is not talking, Spokesperson interface was created so that we can be engaging the society. Better and deeper things are available that I can put at his disposal.
I agree with you. So let me ask you this question. You know, every action we take, there's always the end goal in mind. And I would like to know what your end goal was, having this conversation with the president.
You're brilliant. I like that.
Then secondly, I want to ask 2 in 1 so that we can move. How do you respond to, your critics who have seen this as a betrayal of your roots of opposition?
Okay, good. Let me start with the end goal. You know, when I was done with him, I sat up, I slept a bit, and then I woke up about 3 o'clock, reflecting and asking myself, Segun, what really is the end goal? And to be honest, I can't really immediately potential possibility. There are also potential consequences. If it says, Segun, come and be in my government, I'm not the type of person who tolerates psychophancy. I can't stand when people as a leader is seated and people are standing one after the other using just this sacrifice. It gets on my nerve. So I have to think about that, which is the kind of thing you see around them. Then the other thing is that I'm the type of person who truly likes that the nation is working. Shall I now for that not want to contribute? So when we get to that bit, we'll cross it. If I want to contest an election, we'll discuss it. And that would be on the basis of which political party, given that I come from Ogun, the Southwest, can best carry my ambition. Then the second question, what my critique and all that.
Yeah.
I have asked myself very deeply that are we going to be a nation of seeing no good in people? Or are we going to be a nation, am I going to be a leader that will be managed by the mob? Leaders don't instigate society or motivate society so that they can be obedient. That's how you create mob culture and a lot of irritation. Leaders instigate society so that they can be discerning and take clear, intelligent decisions. I have no need for a mob. Because those who want all these obedient mobs, I'm not meaning in terms of Peter though, I'm just using a phrase. Leaders don't instigate society for obedience. That's like you're trying to make people just kowtow to you and lick your spirit. I don't do that kind of thing. I want society to be able to open up their mind. I want them to be able to think. I want them to take rational decisions for themselves. Okay. And even, let me tell you something. I told Ashaju, I said, Ashaju, any election that has not been casted and counted cannot be called in the bag. So you may win or you may lose. It's not my business. What is more important for me is I have a need for you post-presidency. So better make sure you put yourself together and be alive and come back to the Southwest, because there are things I want to do with you tomorrow or we have to do together. Does that look like someone that is searching for appointment from anybody?
Okay,
why can't I try to be president?
A few more questions,
honestly,
sir. Thank you.
I've really enjoyed this conversation, extremely enlightening, I must say. I came into this interview on the fence and I've enjoyed the perspective you gave, because I've always felt that we cannot, if any president wins, we all win. If the government wins, we all win. I don't necessarily always have to agree with the person in power, but I must support the person to win. And I'm happy that's the stance you are putting forward as well. With that in mind, we are 2 years into this administration. I would love to hear from you which areas you have seen could be improved upon by the current. I know you might have told him personally, but I feel this might be a good platform to also let Nigerians know that as much as I see the good, I see the gaps, and these are the gaps that I feel this is how you can manage it.
Thank you. Oh God, thank you. It has to be you now. It has to be you. This thing is in our gene. Now listen, my dear sister, I told him, I said our nation is running a neoliberal economic market force driven set of policies. The people who carry the can are the poor. You must scale up on how we're going to make life easier for them, because they can't wait. They have waited for so long and it's getting tedious to even tell them to take it easy. I told him that. I also told him, you must be careful with the excess and garrulosity of your aides. Your aides, and I don't want to mention names. I said your aides have the tendency to speak at people instead of speaking to them. It's bad enough that they are dealing with the policies that has come from so many missteps. You have not punished the people that caused this pain on the Nigerian people. Please do not tolerate that people are speaking at people and making people feel irritated even more, because your aides are already getting the privilege of being around your table. The vast majority of the Nigerians, they just want a good country. And you know what he said? He said, Segun, I get it. I'm trying to make sure that whatever we do can structurally endure. That on the security, because I told him about, I wasn't comfortable that our people are getting killed in the north. It was giving me sleepless nights. He said he was going to scale up recruiting forest guards, about 1,000 each in local government. He said he was also going to make sure that they were going to recruit some locals, specific number of locals, trained by the Nigerian police as a department, deployed specifically for local government, so that the people that are handling Ake will be people that were recruited into the Nigerian police force, especially for Ake, and they will be trained and armed and all that, so that they can react. You know, look, the thing I just see is this. In his own case, not in the case of some other jokers that are just playing with buzzwords. In his case, I think that the Nigerian people must know, when you plant bamboo, you will keep going there and it will look like nothing is sprouting. But when it takes time, because it has to get tap rooted, but when it starts sprouting, it's going to go so fast and so good. Tell me how anybody can be upset about the Calabar Corridor Road. If they are slow, they will fix it up. That's construction issue. Why would you be upset about that? Why will anybody not see what's going to happen with the Sokoto Badagry Road? Do you know how it's going to open up our country and what kind of opportunity that will mean? See, I was tired of the demonization of all policies. I'm not getting younger. I've crossed 50. I've crossed 55. I don't want to believe that the things that frustrated Amoro, they didn't see the kind of country they wanted. The things that frustrated Ganifa and me, they didn't see the kind of country. Then I would also get old and I'll be asking myself, what did we do with all the knowledge, all the experience, and all the information? And whoever is president, and Bola Tinubu, my brother and my father is president today, I can't like your own man. And you begrudge me for loving my own. We have been a little bit more balanced. They couldn't even have the courage to call their own out. We call our own out, not because we hate him, but because we want him to improve. And if I get one picture with him, in fact, I even think that I'll be doing that more often, because I don't understand where we got to a country where I can't go and greet the president when he invited. What kind of talk is this?
What kind of politics are we playing?
I know Atiku well anyway.
Okay.
Honestly, cross my heart up to that. I've not spoken to him. I mean, and him will have our issues. I'm telling you, I don't like that coalition thing he's doing. You should settle down. Let's do it this way. He's doing it this way. He has the right to do that. But I can guarantee you, Atiku is not the kind of man that deals with that kind of pettiness. Leaders have the burden of their so-called followers. And their followers with very limited knowledge act like, you know, the way they act. And sometimes some of the things they do can irritate you so much until you give their leader a black slap.
I have to pause you here, sir. Yes, I'll pause you here. We have to take a short break. When we come back, we continue the conversation with you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jammies. So
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jammies.
I want to close the show. I can go. I can. That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, you for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say a recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah, but do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back?
You should start the gym to get fat.
Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
Yeah, pole dancer does not
You're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
The empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No, sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with someone.
Welcome back. We're still having this conversation with Segun Sowunmi, and Abigail is ready with another hot question.
All right, sir. Nigeria is steadily gearing towards the system as we see senators defecting and cross-carpeting to APC. Almost everyone is trying to cross-carpet to APC. And seeing that you have always is he there?
Yes, he is, I believe.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. So seeing that you've always operated on the opposition side, do you think this will be a threat to democracy, or what's your thought on that? The one-party system that is looking like what we'll be experiencing in 2027.
You know, thank you. My heart bleeds that those who got the opportunity of the first bite of the cherry, that's the PDP, men like Obasanjo, Atiku, and the whole works. My heart bleeds that they do not understand that building democratic institutions to last is more useful in the long run to have stability in developmental policies of nations that can also ensure that they can have consistency. I am beyond distraught that this democracy has gotten to the point where rather than have parties being strong and the safeguard of democracy, we have reduced it to a cult of human personality. And this thing crept in, and those who should have prevented it did not do their job. I've been advocating and agonizing about it. I even asked that the PDP let me help reform it. I wasn't looking for it because I think that that position is a fancy position. But I knew that if they don't reform, it will be impossible for people to sit down in a sinking ship, especially one that is a self-inflicted injury. And what do you expect people, politicians, those who want to be friends with government, those who want to contest the election, what do you expect people to do? If there's an opening there, they will go. Let me tell you, I'm even afraid now, more afraid for the APC, that they could implode their party with the all-comers nonsense that is going on there.
Wow.
You all are witnesses to how I've wondered, and I've told him, the president too, democracy is a tedious work for those who have to run democracy as politicians. Power must be shared. Once you get power and you appropriate it all to yourself, whether you are doing the right thing or you are not doing the right thing, you will likely have a situation where stakeholders who should back you will leave. Not too long ago, I had a conversation with Baba Gana Kingibe. I've been looking for him for years. And I sat with him and I said, Daddy, why is this thing going this way? And I can tell you, for the benefit of all the work I do as a part, I deserve a national award. He said to me, he said, Segun, the main problem is that this particular administration seems not to be calling the people they called before they came into power. I said, okay, we'll talk about it so that they can improve it. Some of them don't need appointments anymore. How they designed our presidential system in such a way that a president is captured by maybe the trappings or even his aides, people can't reach him, people can't talk to him, people can't feel him. That's not right. And if the democracy breaks, or if it goes back to the fourth line of Awolowo is Yoruba and Abdazikwe is Igbo, Tafawa Balewa is Hausa, what's going to leave all the effort we have put into making sure we can have a pan-Nigerian country? These are the risks. So I'm not happy with it. I wish I was on the saddle so that I can whip them in line. But in the meantime, I can only advocate and push and hope and encourage them. And I've been here since 1998. My umbilical cord is not buried there. I'm even beginning to get irritated that they are bullying Bola Tinubu, my own person. Because the country runs on the pendulum. 8 years in the north, 8 years in the south. I've tried my best to get Peter to stand firm Instead of him to let us go and build something, he's jumping here, jumping there, jumping there, jumping there, jumping with people that will not represent whatever it is we want to call new. I can accept that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the last president of that age grade. I can accept that. But I can't accept that we're going to now be stuck with people that are old and maybe their health to start to fail. Why would the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria become an old people's home? I don't agree. So if we are stuck with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I expect people to start planning for succession. And I told him, we must find the successor generation. And I am that one of them.
Yes. So let me take a caller. We have a call on the line from Lagos. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Sowunmi, kudos to you. Anytime I see you on television talking, my mind will always do things. But now I can see that you know what you are doing. People don't understand Tinubu. I have been saying, even though things are yet to be okay, but the man is in the right direction. People, everybody is feeling it. I'm feeling it too. But then, this man, God has brought him, but people used to understand. Have a good day. Bye.
Okay, I don't think.
Are you still there?
She's gone.
Okay, you're
gone. I'm here.
Okay, yes. Let me ask a question before I come to you, Abigail.
You didn't really answer the last part of the question.
Which was?
I was asking, what's the fate of democracy? Should the one-party system see the light of day? I don't think I really heard his answer.
Okay, did you answer that?
He was disappointed in the.
Did you answer that?
So, but he didn't.
If she reverses and listen, we're not looking for a yes or no answer. My style of communication is to teach, really, and I do the narrative in such a way that it's stylized. I already said I don't even agree. I can't even accept that it's even inching to that.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you a question. What you think about Alhaji Atiku Abubakar? If you would, if because we hear that he's going to be contesting 2027, if you think he's the major problem the PDP is having, and if you think he should go ahead and contest or he should rest it there.
You see, thank you. It's a tough question, but I've always answered it this way. We put a lower ceiling of entry. You must be 35 before you get in. We did not put a top ceiling, and therefore we cannot, in the real sense of the word, bully anybody from their aspiration. The aspiration that people have is legitimately theirs, and if they want to run with their aspiration, it is the duty of those who are running the political party, oh God, to figure out by self where lies the best place to pick a candidate that can drive us. With all of the best effort of the last election in America, they brought Biden and he couldn't go far, then they changed it. She ran the most ghastly campaign she could run, but the Donald Trump won. That's how democracy works. Democracy promises you a seat at the table, a right of participation. The suffrage of who will win and who will not win is with the people. And therefore, if you have a clean election, a relatively clean election, you have a judiciary that people must trust, then the democracy is working. Otherwise, if you say what will happen in a one-party state, there are some, all the nations in the world are not running multi-party American style democracy now. And some of them are even scaling up on development and achieving whatever. But the question I asked the Chinese when I saw their leadership is that, oh, you people, you say you have moved 700 people out of poverty. I asked him, if I were to go to your villages, will I meet happy citizens? They got the message. The people like freedom. People must have an idea of freedom. But it cannot be that we will now not know that in a global world we have a duty to also be these ambassadors of our own country. We can't be using assets that are available, Twitter, Facebook and all that, only to be insisting that we'll be shaming our people, we'll be increasing the level of hate and mistrust between tribes. I've championed these things. So the answer to your question is, I don't believe we should go in that route. But I also know people are not going to sit back and allow a bunch of clowns to to make a mess of their own ambition, even their sanity. A political, it's not so hard to run a political party now. It's only interest. And what is even this interest? Half the time they're only looking at who is going to bribe them, who is going to give them money. And even when they get the money, have you not even looked at it? What have they even done with it? What quality of life are they even living? We are like beggars in Rolls Royce. People buy cars that ordinarily does not even reflect that they should be buying that kind of car for the kind of road where they live, but they are happy to do it. And tax enforcement in the country is so weak. People are not even being called upon to come and pay commensurate taxes relative to the luxury. These are the things we're talking about. So
I have to pause you here. We have a caller on the line who wants to speak to you. Yakubu from Dokbebo.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Yakubu. And Sister Tokwe, good morning. Sister Yemi, good morning. And then one of our guests, so good morning. Obi, yesterday I watched Mr. Segun Sowunmi on one of the sister stations. Before now, some of us that have won our heart in APC, especially in local area like Dokbebo here, because for me, some of us play some kind of a role for this government to be in place, even though it's not known to the Mr. President and other people in the hierarchy of the party. But as a Nigerian, I always tell people this. Some of us, including me, Mr. George from the Ikeja, Reverend Dominic, and the rest of us, we are not supporting this government because of saying we are looking for something. Some of us support this government because we want a better country. And then yesterday when I watched Mr. Segun Sowunmi, I was like, hey, this is one of the persons that we are looking at. How do we go to tackle this guy? Because when he's talking about opposition, he talk with the facts. Sometimes he talk with facts. Sometimes he's also biased of time. But yesterday when I look at this guy, and then Mr. Segun Sowunmi was not telling us that Ashwat Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a mentally alert, physically alert, and then he said all sorts of things that I say, hey, Mr. Segun Sowunmi of all people. Now, I want to say this to Mr. Segun Sowunmi. Now that they have visited Mr. President, I want to applaud you, and then I want you to stand as the way you always stand. Because a democracy with that opposition, for example, personally, I don't like it. Because we need to put our government in toes. We need to put them on their toes. Because let me give you two examples here, because of the time. Mr. Segun Sowunmi, now I know that you have direct line to Mr. President, if not that you have somebody that Mr. President will get to listen to us. Number one, there's some policy. I personally that I support the government. We don't like such policy. Number one policy is this. When we are talking about CNG, I think you know what I'm talking about. And we're telling us that we should convert our car or our buses to CNG. We should have ourselves. How much is this conversion? Mr. Segun Sowunmi, are you listening to me? Yes. How much is this conversion? The conversion of top plot of the car is 1,250,000.
He has mentioned it before. He's mentioning it again. It is a major issue of concern to him.
Mr. Segun?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
In the Obasanjo years, the economy was quite depressed, and part of the policy of monetization or infusing new energy into the country was what allowed, you know, that cash back and all that we now had a lot of people having cars. But hey, the cost of buying a car at that time, a civil servant who probably had about 180,000 or something could get some kind of car. You can't, you see, the money, the quantity of theory of money and the value of money is the thing that the Nigerian people are not really educated on. The monies of a nation, however you like it, that you want to take things cheaply, the only things you can really take cheaply, if you are able to scale up, are the things you produce locally. You can't tell the person that is making one equipment how much is going to sell it. I'm not their spokesperson. He has not challenged me for that. He's not even going to be able to pay for all the amount of defense I'm doing. But the point I'm making is that I understand how they want to have electronic cars in Europe, and it took Shimon Peres, the former Prime Minister of Israel, to bring a young man in and say, okay, this electronic car, how do we charge the batteries? and got all the oil, the multi people that do cars into a dinner, and they figured out that solution. The world has electronic cars now. When men of vision are speaking today, the painful thing is that it takes time for you to see the gestation and the manifestation of this thing. If you have a gas-driven car or a combined gas and petrol-driven car, it's cheaper. It's better for the ozone layer if you can afford it. When we started GSM, even we, the PDP, the cost of GSM was an arm and a leg. Today, is there anybody that truly can't afford a SIM? Is there anybody that doesn't really have a phone, no matter how either cheap or not cheap? These things, you see, let us accept one thing. Our generation are living on the past glory of the previous generation. The fella Nicola Kutiba Mabeda and Co. To tell you that because of Yeni, my sister, and the Abiolas and the Olos and all that, the Atababa Lewas and the Okpara. We are the ones now to build what the next generation is going to live on.
True.
Are we going to spend all our time just pulling ourselves down, hating ourselves, destroying our country, and then when maybe they are gone, like them Bola, they are older than us, if it follows the order of things and them Atiku they go, are we going to be stuck with a country where we can't even have a conversation among ourselves before it becomes, they will support their man, they are not bigots. 1 second, when I support a man, my own man know that I'm even been criticizing unduly and maybe a bit too much, given our relationship. I will now start being a bigot. Point I'm making is that it's their duty to explain their policy.
Yeah.
It's their duty to try to think about it. But the areas where I have issues with, I try to tell him in a way that he may get, and he gets it. I asked him about agriculture, that look, our people are hungry, what are we going to do? He said, Segun, I'm already opening up big lands all over, even in the zones. And I'm going to give them all the tractors and everything. I'm going to buy some bulldozer now. Then I asked him, what about my Ogun? He said, have I not just given them the ability to have cotton and maybe begin to export cotton? He said, these things are not easy. I'm doing everything humanly possible. My heart is with the Nigerian people. And I understand their prayer. And then I asked him another question I must tell you. I said, what about this local government money? He said, Segun, I went to that court because I just wanted the money to get to the local government so that our people can feel it. And I said, are you not going to bully the governor? He said, Segun, democracy will give me problem. I have to go through the court. How can I be talking to the president at that level and somebody think that I went there to go and be talking about who's going to eat some movie tomorrow morning? Do I tell you that I'm hungry?
Thank you, sir. Why can't you have a question for me?
Okay, let me deviate a bit. There are some APC members, disgruntled APC members, who have left the APC, like El Rufai. Amechi hasn't left, but he's disgruntled. Then there is the PDP members who are disgruntled, like Wike. I want to know your relationship with Wike first.
Okay, let me take the Nasiru one, then I'll tell you what me and him discussed about Wike. I asked him, I said, it's a bit painful when people struggle and support when it was very hard. They shouldn't be feeling that they are disregarded and all that. He said to me, he said, Segun, I know Nasiru and I like Nasiru and I love Nasiru. It's just that when things don't go exactly the way he wants immediately, his reaction can, tilt things in all sorts of ways. I said, well, he's younger than you. It's your duty to call him in and embrace him and make sure you keep your word. And then I asked him about Wike. I said, sir, I worry that the energy and the garrulosity and all of these things is beginning to be a bit much. What do you say to that? And this thing in Rivers. He said, Segun, Wike is that type of special breed that he lives his truth and speaks his truth, and I respect him for that. He said, for me to be able to maneuver, lest he will remove that governor completely, I had to step in quickly to get them to douse tension. I even had to tell him, okay, Wike, don't be angry. I don't want that guy to be lost, and I don't want the Nigerian people to... Can you imagine asking the president that? So those who are decamping, some of them are going to be disappointed. It is value you must create So that wherever you are, people will chase you with whatever it is you say you want. If you chase after what they have, are you a thief? How much of it can they give you? But when you try to create value, you will find out that even when they engage you, they see value. And somebody who thinks himself as a potential president, do you think I will not be mindful of the fact that I will lose all my people who think I'm a champion of the oppressed? But I just don't want us to be glamorizing anger. That was why I told Peter, Claire, you are now a big voice in our country. It is not your responsibility to go all over the world just demarcating the nation. What's wrong with you? On top of that, you don't be shouting production. If they ask you a question, I can't even answer it. So the point I'm making is that if you are for Nigeria, whether you're APC, PDP, or whatever you call it, I'm for you. But if your idea is you hate the country, you want us to implode, you will not see anything good, you want the country to be, cloning themselves, you revert this outside this, but I don't have time for that. I will fight you if I can. I will fight you because I know that at the end of the day, you spend your time and go. Okay. And you're going to leave the mess of that your divisive type of doing things. You're going to leave it here.
Mr.
Can your children cope?
Mr. Segun, we would like to take a short break so we can drink water. And then when we come back, we'll come back to you. Thank you so much.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
But they are for all of us now. That's why you're still single.
I will not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person you see some spoils?
That woman.
Damn.
Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up now.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay tuned. Entertainment for pure entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome back. We still have Segun Sowunmi in the house, and we're still asking questions. I would like to ask a question. Senator Ali Ndume had come out to say that, the president is getting a lot of endorsements, but it really wouldn't matter at the polls because even one of our ex-presidents, Goodluck Jonathan, got a lot of endorsements. But by the time they got to the poll, he said something different. What do you think about that?
People, Senator Ali Ndume, I know he knows me a bit. There are two types of thinkers around the political space and how election run. There are those thinkers who believe that there are two variables to worry about: money and the numbers. That means you have some money, whatever the figure you call, you are chasing numbers. Ashadi is not like that too, because I know. He is on the second side, which is science of determining where to put the money and the numbers will come. Look, I swear, oh God, if they call the election today, those who boast unduly about their exclusive ownership of population will be shocked that within that environment, they can't even create the type of numbers that the APC machinery and Bola Tinubu can create. I'm experienced on all aspects. I ran the spokesperson campaign in 2019. I did same for 2023. I've gone around the country. I know what to look out for. I know how to go into a field and just look with the point of view of an experienced enumerator. My background is actuarial science. That's financial mathematics mixed with a lot of science. You see, they just make assumptions. Ndume, his party is a very mild party. And that's part of the reason how they destroyed the political space. The kind of thing that my party allowed there is the kind of nonsense they align with Ndume. If I were the chairman of the PDP, of the APC, I would have expelled him. He's a senator of the Federal Republic from his party. His duty is not to be running from one television after the other, acting as if he's the patron deity of opposition. If you hate your party so much, leave. If you think they'll be shocked. It's Jonathan Bola Tinubu is the infrastructure for managing communication and all of the issues there. The creatives, is it the same with the people from that zone and our zone? Does he even understand what kind of asset goes into planning election before you get to the day of the poll? Ndume has been picking, he's been lucky. The gods have been cracking his palm kernel for him. Has Ndume gone to ask the governor of his state and the vice president whether they are on the same page with him? Does he have the same gravitas with Zulum? I went to meet President Muhammadu Buhari. I said to him, sir, I don't like the fact that everything is only happening for the Northwest. What about the Northeast? What about the Northeast? He said, Segun, for your generation, if that's what you are talking about, you are looking at who is a good presidential material in the Northeast in your generation, go and look at Zulum. He said, look at how he's tackling insurgency. Look at this. And that is, he did not see Ndume there. Why didn't the president signpost Ndume? I hate when people are just misbehaving. This is the thing that destroyed PDP. If APC like, they should sit down there and let it destroy them now. Political parties have to be a little bit more disciplined. Yeah. It is indiscipline that led PDP to where it is. And I've seen that same indiscipline creeping into APC. Democratic leadership is just democratic leadership. It doesn't mean it's weak leadership. Leaders and managers of government have responsibilities that are very serious. You don't just leave it to be the law of the land. The dog drag this in, the cat drag that in. They are using their big voices to shame your country, to shame the country, to instigate citizens, to stimulate potential riot and implosion. And some people are sitting down there claiming that they are running the country and they are playing. I will not play. It's up to them. I don't have that responsibility.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Can I?
You are not checking the time.
Take one more
Yeah, enjoying it.
I was going to ask. It has been said that the posts in this government is geared more towards the southwest. So a lot of the southeasterners are disgruntled. A lot of the northerners are disgruntled. They're saying the president is employing more Yoruba people. And if I'm not mistaken, you two have said that. What is your opinion?
Yes.
Okay.
God bless you. When I saw him, we talked about that. I said, we have a responsibility to make the Southeasterners feel included. The Civil War was a national trauma for all of us. We must go out of our way to let them understand that we should leave that behind. I myself have gone to Enugu to go and beg and say, forgive all the trespasses. This is a new generation. And you know what he told me? He said, I'm working very hard to redress some of these errors. That's why it is the man, Umahi, that has the big energy of infrastructure. He said, that's why I gave them command post with Ogala. I'm only doing the best we can do. That lopsidedness that you guys complain about, have you not noticed that I have started changing it? He said it only happened because when you want to do something great, sometimes it is the people you think have that greatness that first come to mind. But he has heard and he has started to make sure that there is balance. What else are you going to ask the president?
Okay. Let me just throw in one question. We've been speaking about the president, but we know that for governance to really reach, we need the governors, we need the local government chairman. And I would like to ask you, what's your take on the PDP governors and the APC governors? Would you just say which of the governors have impressed you with their delivering of
policies?
Democracy, benefits of democracy to the citizens? Thank you.
Did you get the question, sir?
Sir, I was asking about governors. Did you get my question?
Is he still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. I was asking about the governors. Aside from the presidency we spent so much time talking about, are there governors that have impressed you with their deliverables across parties, APC and PDP? Governors that
by miles, Lagos State, by miles.
Okay. After Lagos State?
The guy in Enugu, my own, the one that is PDP in Enugu.
Okay.
I went to him. Listen, I went there and I said, this low Earth orbit satellite that I've been screaming about to make you have a position where you sit somewhere and you can see what's going on for insecurity. He showed me the one he had done, and I became livid. If Enugu can do it, what are the subnationals? What are the other governors doing? Why can't they do it? If there is technology today that you can have a low Earth orbit satellite that allows you to sit in a control room and look at your space, so you see the miscreants and the people that are misbehaving, and you pick them just like that. So there are a few good places, but hey, look at the guy in what's his name in Adamawa. You know, I know that place because that's Atikusum. I go there from time to time. Go and look at the amount of infrastructural revolution he has done there.
Wow.
I was just going to ask about him.
Amazing. We have to go. We have to go.
Thank
you so much.
What about our own, Dr. Abiodun?
Ogun State. We have to go.
Let us just thank God that at least we are the one that won Mr. Steez, the fashion designer of the year.
That's something. That's something. Yes, you're right. Thank you so much, Mr. Segun Sowunmi, for visiting the president. You've accomplished something significant by confirming the president's mental and physical well-being. Your actions have also helped to clarify that opposition doesn't necessarily mean enmity. We all share a common goal, building our nation regardless of who is in office. The country belongs to us all, and it's our collective duty to contribute to its growth. So you are an epitome of that. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and thank you for joining us to share with us today. Thank you, ladies, for your contributions. Thank you, YK.
Very interesting show.
It was a politics Tuesday.
Mr. Segun Sowunmi held the show for the entire day.
So politics Tuesday.
But it threw my governor under the.
Your governor needs to sit up. That's all we can take on the show today. Thank you so much, ladies. And that's all we can take. We'll see you again tomorrow. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye now.